sa teleradyo ng Net25 at Radyo Aguila DCEC 1062. Kasama si Weng de la Fuente sa
At itong bali talakayan, we live in interesting times.
Open for Business is back, and with me is Aiko and Ia Prado, owners of EMC Prado Auto Incorporated. How are you, IQ and Ia?
Hello. Good day, everybody. Thanks for having us.
Good day. We're good. Thank you for having us here.
It's very interesting, IQ and Ia, that with the pandemic, small businesses like you and including your segment in the market is thriving. I mentioned off-cam earlier, sinabi ko kanina dun sa bago tayo nag-interview, bago ito sa off-cam natin, I checked your website and your business is into luxury cars. So, ang isa sa mga ipinagtataka natin ngayon, katulad ng mga ibang businesses, we never realized na pupunta tayo sa pandemyang ito at halos lahat ay nakasarado dahil sa ECQ, MECQ, at ang mga sasakyan, transportation was also put on hold. So, how has the pandemic affected your business?
Okay, ito po yung sasagot itong katanungan ni Sir Cesar. Naapektuhan po yung aming negosyo sa pamamaraan po ng before the pandemic, pagka meron po kaming mga kliyente or mga buyers na gusto pong makita ang mga sasakyan or gusto pong mag-purchase sa amin, usually they would come to us, come to the office, or makipag-set sila ng meeting sa kung may pwede makipag sa kanila, or even go to their respective homes. So, ngayon pong hindi po inaasahang pangyayari na nagkaroon po tayo ng pandemya, naapektuhan po kami dito sa aspeto na ito na hindi po lahat ng aming mga kliyente at yung mga buyers natin ay kayang gawin ang the usual na pamamaraan po ng pagbili o ng pagtingin ng sasakyan. So ito po ang naging challenge namin itong pandemya ito.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd like to ask Ia on that part kasi definitely there are changes in the way we do business. Like as IQ mentioned, before the pandemic, people have to see it, touch the product, diba? See it for themselves. Like say, for example, if that's a car, they have to test drive it. They have to touch the leather seats, and really look at the colors, and all that. So, ano sa palagay mo naman, Iya, ang mga iba pang mga pagbabago ng mga gusto ng mga kliyente? I'm sure it does not only apply to the auto retail industry, di ba? But in other, I'm sure your wife as well, and even in as a consumer, definitely you have your own, there are behavioral changes that has happened. Doon sa business ninyo, ano sa palagay mo ang mga pagbabago pang nakita ninyo na palagay mo ay magiging normal na sa larangan ng industriya na ito?
Yeah. I think for our customers, before IQ mentioned that they had time to come, we had a lot of senior customers also. They couldn't or they didn't want to, but they needed a car or needed to sell a car. So we had to find creative ways to engage the customer and really be in touch with them. So we started to send the cars to them so they could view the cars themselves. We had the tow truck and it would be there. They can open it, touch it, like you said, But no one would be there except the driver of the tow truck and then just on the phone with the salesperson, and we would just do everything via a video call. Our videos in Facebook, in Instagram, it had to change because we had to show more of the inside and the sound of the car and everything. So the the customer experience had to turn everything to be online. And so extra work also for the salespeople because they had to talk more on the phone and maybe answer messages more quickly because there's less face-to-face time. So extra effort also on their part, on our part, everyone's part actually to really be in touch with the customer at this time.
So that's still a good thing because somehow you manage to really come up with ideas, that will still let them feel the car or the product, di ba? Parang sabi nyo nga is, parang you have a tow truck, you bring the product to them, di ba? Pero to IQ naman, is that not spending more for your customers, or do you believe that it's the way to go? Kumbaga, talaga bang nakapasok na ba sa ano mo yon, sa costing mo rin yon, na kailangan kung may binago kang sistema, automatic kumbaga may gagawin kang adjustment din dun sa costing mo. I'm saying this kasi baka makatulong din sa mga ibang negosyo na kapag may mga ideas sila na bago, matatanggap na ng mga customer na kung may konting addition ka man doon sa service mo, maintindihan nila yon para mapanatili naman na secure sila and safe. Is that the business model, IQ, when you initiated these changes?
Yeah, actually, Caesar, no, when we first did the tow truck, when we purchased that, sabi ko, ang extra gastos ito para sa opisina. And this is something, when we got it, kasi we got it at the pandemic to start. No? We got it end of March. So, when we got it, sabi ko, this is extra expense na hindi ko nakukompute, no? Hindi ko siya nakukompute, but I really think that we needed to do something to be able to do things for our clients who would want to see their the cars that we are selling, and at least meron po kami magawa rito. But I really think, and I agree with you, Sir Cesar, na right now, napansin namin that I think it's not just that a trend, no, but it's going to be the new normal. The new normal of purchasing cars, probably, as we all see, the big dealerships, the big brands are doing the online, what we call this, the video, online video of the vehicles, show them the features. So, at first, hindi ko po inaasahan na magiging ano po ito, na hindi po namin inaasahan at hindi po namin na-compute. But right now, we, as a company, pinapasok na po namin to be able to provide this service to our clients. Napapasok na po namin yung para bang additional expense on this part.
Mm-hmm. And I think...
I'm so sorry. I'd like to add.
Go ahead.
That kind of service kasi, although it's an expense, meron siyang cost benefit doon for us also as a business, because it protected also the people, like IQ would have to really have to see customers before. Siya yung haharap if we have two salespeople and they have to be the one to go. The benefit, there was social distancing. They were able to still do what they had to do. And at the same time, nagka-added value yung service. Although it was extra, there was a cost. There was a benefit also for the customer that we were able to add some value to the kind of service that we do. And also for us, we were able to make sure that the employees are safe and hindi sila masyadong aalis and have to see people face to face.
Yeah, that's interesting. We were talking off cam earlier, IQ and Iya, na 'di ba pag mga pandemic na ganito, yung luxury items agad ang unang mawawala sa listahan mo. I'm sure with women, 'di ba? Parang from bags to shoes. So bago nila uunahin 'yon, mauuna muna yung food. So it's really surprising that when our partner Globe Business mentioned that you will be with Open for Business, I was a little intrigued because luxury cars may not necessarily be the hot item at this time, but can you give me a walkthrough, maybe IQ and Ia, on what was your learning on this? Kasi nung pumunta naman ako sa website nyo, sabi ko nga talagang gusto ko nang bumili, mag-try ng luxury car. So can you give me your insights on what happened during this pandemic?
Okay. Nung nagsimula po yung pandemic, nobody expected it. Kinabahan po kami. And to tell you honestly, kinabahan po ako. I was telling my wife, I was having sleepless nights and iniisip ko, what's gonna happen? Luxury, I don't think will be very relevant during this time because alam mo yun, people would want to save their money. Alam mo yun, hindi natin malaman. It's like a war na it's really like an invisible war na itong nangyayari sa atin ngayon. So, mas maganda yung liquid tayo kaysa bumili tayo ng luxury. So, surprisingly, Cesar, I think, no, with the luxury vehicles na binibenta namin, I think the clientele that we had for these cars, I would use the word na parang they had more time. They had more time to lurk.
Mm-hmm.
They had more time to check or mag-inquire sa mga bagay na ito. And I would use the parang pang nabobore sila na this is happening and I really wanted to do something. And yung behavior na yun, it's not just with the part, no? Even with I have friends who have other businesses, which is luxury as well, luxury watches, luxury bags, used ones. And these are the ones that are moving now. So, I mean, wala po akong masabi, mahal po tayo ng Diyos. And until now, it's continuing. We've been seeing yung sa side po ng mga brand new vehicles, nakikita po namin na there is medyo nagkakaroon po ng pagbagal po sa side ng negosyo nila and they are also nagbabawas po sila ng production, no, with the brand new vehicles. And we don't see that in the used car market now, which is kami po, naghahanap pa po kami ng pwede namin makuha with the dealerships. Usually we work with them with their trade-in vehicles. And yes, wala po kami masabi pero I think we're still blessed na yun po yung nagiging reaction ng negosyo dito po sa pandemic.
Yeah, Iya, is this something that you anticipated so far, or is this something that you have, just discovered it and tapped into the opportunity? Kasi di ba parang sinasabi natin kanina na when we were expecting a lot of behavioral changes, di ba? A lot of changes in the patterns on how people buy, di ba? Lalo na naging uso na yung mga deliveries, di ba? Yung logistics and all, the delivery right to your homes or communities. Ito ba, how long did you pivot to this new business model? And was there time, mga ilang days ba yon, ilang weeks nyo na nakita or ilang months na parang, teka lang, sige, parang ano ba yon? May survey ba kayong ginawa, or did you call your friends, your customers? How long did it take you to realize na parang hindi, wag nating tigilan, tuloy pa rin yan, and this is the best time to do it, wag titigil. What was running in your mind during that time, Iya?
Well, I think from that, even the days leading up to the lockdown, no, we would hear news na, if there might be a lockdown, ganyan. So we were already thinking forward, how it would affect the operations of the business, and like what guidelines that yung government would impose, would we have to close. So when it happened na nga, so we had all this time, we had to be at home, and we were totally closed. No one knew how long, diba, it was going to last. So parang nung una we felt like, 1 week vacation.
Until yung 1 week na vacation, naging months na.
Parang after a while, sabi na, okay, wait, this is serious. So anyway, jokes aside, I think we really looked at the inventory, and then we looked at the industry. IQ has many colleagues who, like yung mga trade-in partners namin, they own the casas, they own the dealerships. So, we had to pick up information from them also and see what they were going to do, because these are best practices already from industry, and they would have the knowledge of the market. Kami naman, we're in the used car segment, so iba din yung market. And we saw na corporations were laying off people, people were losing work, and transportation was prohibited, like public transport. So from there we said, okay, let's let go muna of, kasi may inventory kami, so let's say from that inventory we said, let's let go of low to mid-range, because we would still have that. Because in normal pre-pandemic, those would be the very fast moving ones. We would sell, let's say, Nova, Apias very quickly, because these are the cars that we would take to work. Parang for a family car, first car, ganyan. But so those were the things that we said, okay, let's let go of that. Why? Because we knew that ito yung mga naka-loan, they might need to let go of these, ganyan. So we sold those off right away. So we were left with the more expensive ones. And when that was the inventory, slowly, maybe a month and a half later, inquiries came in slowly but steadily. They came in because these were the people who had savings, had trips, or we had a customer, he was a pilot and he was grounded for like 2 months. I think he had some savings there, and that was the first sales we had during ECQ. We had to, so yeah, that's how we saw the market move.
So it's interesting, as you narrated it, Iya, that you really have to do a very thorough environmental scan, di ba? Na parang you have to know what's happening with the industry, not, or the different market segments. Kasi sabi mo nga, parang you have to choose which market segment should focus on. And nakakagulat yun, na yung luxury market pa, yun yung parang nag-work. And I think that is one good insight that other small businesses should learn. And what is also surprising, I think, based on what you said, Iya, that and a lot of CEOs that I have interviewed here, talagang sila nagbabawas din ng mga tao, nagtanggal ng tao kahit masama sa loob nila, ayaw nila, but napilitan sila. I think my question is for IQ. Kayo ba, Naranasan nyo rin ba ito? Parang were you able in your span, I think magto 2 years na tayong na-experience yung ganito. Pero kayo ba talagang, did you reduce your staff already? Or kumbaga parang pinabakasyon nyo ba muna yung iba? So how is managing people? How is laying off? How is, you know, making sure that health and safety protocols are observed in your company, IQ?
Okay. Caesar, at first, nung nagsimula yung pandemic, and it was running in my head already, paano namin sustain ang pagsiserto sa mga tao kung hindi kami maka-open? So at first, no, what I told Iya, sabi ko, Iya, whatever we do, we will do everything to keep everybody on board. So kahit hindi tayo tumatakbo, what should we do? So we just want to share something with you, Cesar, that sabi ko, ikutin lang natin dito sa house natin. Tingnan natin if we have things that that is of, may value siya, and it's something na you think that we can sell this, and maybe pagtutulungan natin para maipasweldo natin sa mga tao. That's what we did. So we looked at old cell phones, sir. We have old watches that we were not using. And some were able to gather together. And I think the first and second month of the pandemic, we were able to cover that span talaga na we were closed, hindi kami mag-operate. And after namin po nagawa yun, and that was the time na we had an enlightenment na I think the luxury segment was moving and we were having inquiries. Today, from the time that we did that, wala pa po na-post na kasama kami sa office. And the business, it might be not super strong, but we are running. And I think during this time, ito pong pandemic nito, as long as you have everybody on board, your business is running, and we're eating as a family, I think that's enough.
Wow, that's well said. I think that is also the reason why Globe Business has, chosen a business like you, because as Globe Business has been spousing Saludo SMEs. Kumbaga, this is really, this opportunity is, to really honor SMEs for your resilience, and also, giving job opportunities to a lot of people, because we know that there's a lot of, small businesses already that have, closed their operations, and these are the opportunities where, sabi nga nila, small businesses and even big corporations like Globe Business would really want to help small businesses to prosper and continue. And I think Globe Business is doing that. Which leads me to my question. Nakikita namin na with your partnership, IQ and IA, you have a very solid partnership as partners, not only in life but in business. Pero gaano ba kaimportante sa inyo ang paghahanap din ng right partner, like technology partner, for example, with our partnership with Globe Business? Gaano ka-importante ang digitalization? Kasi nagbago na nga yung business model. Lahat gusto tumingin na sa Facebook, tumingin na online. So how can you cite ways on how digitalization, going online, getting your business across digital channels, and how is Globe Business helping you in your conduct of your business?
Yeah. Okay, I'll answer that. For us, as a business, yung understanding namin about digitization and what it was pre-pandemic times, it was, like online banking and all that. But I think it really forced us to really think about the strategy of how we would like to implement and operate the business, not just some marketing, but really on operating the business from our house or from an employee's home while we were all in journey. We had to think of this strategy. So what we did really was number one, our priority was connectivity. We had to be online all the time. We had to make sure that everybody had access to a cell phone or data, a computer. Everybody needed that. So we had to give everybody their devices. And then next is we had to migrate a lot of our operations online. So even like semi-online because we had to minimize traveling face to face. So finding a partner for that was because my office was already working with home and we had a really very good experience with them. And the relationship was really tested because from the CPC, I already called for their help to like change a phone or give a line to some of our employees, make sure we had internet connection in our satellite office that we had to move in because our old office had to close because it was inside a residential subdivision. None of the staff were allowed to come in. So nag-MECQ, nung nag-GCQ, we had to suddenly move to this new place and I needed internet and everything. And I think the responsiveness of that partner and yung pagka-savvy, of course, they have to be able to give that to us. So I got a call from Globe Business with her relationship manager. And at the time, she offered us Consulta MD, which was like a teleconsult service at a super reasonable price, which was free for a few months and then we subscribed to it for the rest. And I think that giving that to employees really just gave them some sort of security, safety, because not all of us have access to, let's say, an HMO or a doctor nearby.
Yes.
So I think di ba, parang for a simple cold or your child has a fever or something, they were able to use it. And I would ask them for their feedback, and I think they were very happy with it.
Wow. That's good to know. And of course, this interview is a series of interviews that really promote the experiences or the successes of entrepreneurs in dealing with the many challenges. I'd like to ask now, IQ, kasi I think sinabi mo IQ, hindi ko ako nang nagkakamali kung 20 years o 30 years na kayo sa business na ito. Hindi naman halata, mukhang pero ang gusto kong matanong ano ba yung inspirasyon mo na ninyong magkasawa sa business na ito? We know that there's a lot of good business in terms of buy and sell service, di ba? But in the auto retail business, in the automotive buy and sell business, ano yung, what inspires you to carry on with this? Kasi alam naman natin na isa nga ito sa mga mahirap at mahal na na bagay, na commodity. So instead of instead of luxury items, they go for food muna. And alam din naman natin, laging sinasabi ng mga businesses din, and even customers, cash is king, lalo na sa mga panahon ngayon. But what inspires you, to carry on, with this approach?
I think I will have to go to be able to answer this. I would have to go back how I started in the business. No? I started here with, alam mo yun, it was, I think, by accident because when I bought my first car, it was a car that I really loved. I mean, very hands-on to it. And when I sold that car, somebody offered, and I earned a little. That was the time na sabi ko, wow, okay itong business na to. Parang kumita ko. Might as well do it again. So I purchased the next car. But, this business, meron kasi siyang stigma, Sir Cesar, no? Parang this used car business, parang laging is hindi maayos yung kotse na yan, hindi maayos sa mga kausap niyo dyan. And even my own parents told me that when I was starting with this business, they told me na, IQ, okay yan ginagawa mo pero we want you to look for a job, yung maayos na trabaho. Yeah, they told us that to me. But for me, I think what really inspires me doing this until now is I wanted to change that stigma. I wanted to professionalize the used car business. Even the used car business, you can also have the same experience like buying a brand new one. So that is what inspires me. That is what we want to do, is to have, I think, complete experience, same as like buying a brand new car, dito sa used car business. So until now, that is something that every day I open my eyes, I would want to do that, I would want to improve that. And ito po, Sir Cesar, until we're almost 22 years doing this business, and every day we still learn. Every day we try to innovate, we try to pivot small to the left, small to the right, to be able to press the right buttons.
Wow, that's interesting. Now, Iya, we're running out of time, but maybe aside from what IQ mentioned, what do you think are, the tips that you can share also to, in running this kind of business? Alam naman natin na ngayon, marami din ang kinakabahan kasi hindi pa natin alam kung ano yung susunod na mga mangyayari. But we are expecting, di ba, traditionally, pag darating yung final quarter of the year, that is where, people would really buy things. So, what's your outlook on the industry? Tingin mo magtutuloy-tuloy pa ba? At dami din kaming nababasa dito nakikita sa Open for Business that we're losing trillions of pesos because of the lockdowns, and everything will go back to normal in terms of our economy on 2025 pa, and things like that. But sabi nga natin, ang Saludo SME, ang Globe Business, nandyan lagi to really, let us know that we're always open for business. So, sa'yo, Iya, with the many challenges that you and the IQ have experienced, ano yung mga tips mo din na pwede mo i-share sa mga small businesses katulad ng mga nanonood ngayon?
I think for us, what we can share na advice sa mga small businesses is that don't be afraid to invest at this time, and always look at the customer, look to the market. You will see the insight there for as long as you look at the market. Don't look at earning each peso, but if you look at what the customer wants, and you try your best to respond to that, you try your best to cater your business into something that is relevant to them. I think that it will have its payback, ROI, as your investment. And investment doesn't need to be expensive. It can be time, it can be in people, or in tech, or in business partners. So it can be many things.
Wow.
So don't worry.
Interesting. Now, my last question is for IQ. Marami din na mga kauri ang inyong negosyo na ganito. Pero ano ang dapat nilang hanapin what are those characteristics or traits or qualities that they should look for supplier when they're looking for used cars or pre-loved cars? Ano yung dapat nilang isipin na kapag bibili ka, ito yun ang dapat kumontak ka because everybody's online. Sabi nyo nga parang people have more time now to look online, search the internet and look for these items. They're more they can ask more questions, di ba? And they have the luxury of time, to go into this and invest. Ano ang dapat nilang hanapin? Ano na yung mga red flags naman na dapat na silang kabahan kapag hindi na tama yung kanilang nako-contact? IQ.
Okay. Cesar, with regards to that one, I think my advice for people who would search cars or even try to communicate with car dealers, make sure lang na when you look for dealerships or car dealers whom you would want to inquire with, tingnan niyo na lang din yung how they communicate with you. I think the main thing here is the communication on how they will attend to your needs, how they will entertain your inquiries. Because in this way, marami rin kasi ngayon sa social media, sa mga different avenues and platforms, hindi lahat are legit. And I really think that in this way, talagang hindi natin maiwasan na meron talagang mga taong na nag-i-inquire na nagkakaroon sila, nagkakamali sila sa pag-inquire at naloloko sila. But I really think it would really depend on how dealers or how the inquiries are going to be answered. So my advice is find people or dealerships who would answer these questions properly and would address you that kailangan.
Wow, these are really great insights, IQ and Iya, and thank you very much for sharing the challenges, your experiences, and I hope that I'm sure that a lot of your insights will be applied by the small businesses who are watching us right now, and I hope that we can really guest you again in the future so that we will know more about the business and how you will be able to continue your efforts and how you respond to the many challenges during the pandemic. That's IQ and Iya Prado, owners of EMC Prado Auto Incorporated. Open for Business will be back. Stay tuned for business news with our correspondent Randy Bernardino. He's now in the Philippines. Open for Business will be back. Stay with us.
Ang mga bagong balita aarangkada kada umaga.
Events happen around us all the time, in our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced. Eagle News, because we live in interesting times.
Welcome back to Open for Business. I am correspondent Randy Bernardino, and here are the trending business news around the world. Slow COVID vaccination to cost global economy $2.3 trillion. The slow rollout of coronavirus vaccines will cost the global economy $2.3 trillion in lost output, a report found. The Economist Intelligence Unit study found that emerging and developing economies whose vaccine rollouts are far behind those of wealthier countries will bear the brunt of those losses. The report comes as advanced nations move towards providing booster shots to their populations, while the international effort to provide vaccines for poorer nations will remain inadequate. The study calculated that countries which fail to vaccinate 60% of their populations by mid-2022 will suffer the losses equivalent to 2 trillion euros over the 2022-2025 period. New Asia Undersea Data Cable Plan unveiled by Google and Facebook. Google and Facebook unveiled plans for a new undersea internet cable connecting Singapore, Japan, Guam, the Philippines, Taiwan, and Indonesia. The cable project, dubbed Apricot, would be some 12,000 kilometers and be operational in 2024, subject to regulatory approvals, the company said in separate statements. The project, announced by the U.S. firms and regional and global partners, will deliver much-needed internet capacity, redundancy, and reliability to expand connections in the Asia-Pacific region, said Facebook engineering manager Nico Rorech. Samsung announces $205 billion investment plan. Samsung Group unveiled a $205 billion investment blueprint aimed at making the company a leader in a range of technologies, from semiconductors to robotics, and creating 40,000 new jobs. The tech giant is South Korea's largest conglomerate, and its overall turnover is equivalent to a fifth of the nation's gross domestic product. Samsung Electronics, its flagship subsidiary, is the world's biggest smartphone maker. The plan will help Samsung strengthen its global standing in key industries while spearheading innovations in new fields, the company said in a statement, adding it will also pursue corporate acquisitions. Now for our job hunting. Every week we'll provide you with tips for first-time job seekers, for those wanting to advance in their careers, or even those wanting to start fresh and change professions. Today's tip: network regularly. Now interact with people and develop professional contacts both online and in person. Start conversations with people at seminars, social events, or appointments. Let them know you're looking for a job or you want to work in a certain industry. They might have connections or advice that can help you in your own job search. You might also discover unlisted job openings, or people might recommend you for future opportunities. So that is today's job hunting tip. Open for Business will be back.
Open for Business is back, and our term of the week is line of credit. From Investopedia, a line of credit, or LOC, is a preset borrowing limit that can be tapped into at any time. The borrower can take money out as needed until the limit is reached, and as money is repaid, it can be borrowed again in the case of an open line of credit. An LOC is an arrangement between a financial institution, usually a bank, and a client that establishes the maximum loan amount the customer can borrow. The borrower can access funds from the line of credit at any time as long as they do not exceed the maximum amount or credit limit set in the agreement. Today, we learned that small business owners need to adapt to the changing times. When faced with an unexpected situation like enhanced community quarantine, MSMEs must be creative in order to continue their operations. Some businesses have experienced failure while others have attained success. One strategy that has worked in the auto retail industry was the pivot to digital transformation. In the new normal, digital technology has been the key for car sales to continue during the pandemic. And with that, our quote of the week is from the founder of the Porsche car company, Mr. Ferdinand Porsche. If one does not fail at times, then one has not challenged himself. Maraming salamat sa inyong panunood ng Open for Business. Thank you to our correspondent Randy Bernardino, our guests from EMC Prado Auto Inc., and our partner Globe Business. Samahan ninyo kaming muli sa Open for Business sa susunod na linggo. Learn more insights from CEOs, thought leaders, industry experts, and SMEs promoting business development in the Philippines, keeping you informed and open for business and be ahead of the curve from vision to action. Panoorin din ang programang OFB sa Facebook at YouTube. Mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media at Net25 TV. Para sa Open for Business, ko po si Cesar Vallejos. We live in interesting times.
This program is supported by Bank of Commerce, an affiliate of San Miguel Corporation. We think customers. BMEG Premium at Protect Plus Gold. Sama-sama sa laban, walang iwanan.